You sure do like to share your opinions, talking big like somebody's listening. Nobody's listening.
Max! Oh!
Hit the ignition. Now you listen. Hop up in the window. Smaller and smaller, you fade down. Hop up in the window.
Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to AFL Tips. Sorry I'm a bit late. I had Sunday off work, but I went to the F1 on Sunday and I had a very low amount of sleep as well. I was going to do my tips after I got home, but I on Saturday night I got home at midnight from work and I had to leave home at 5:30 in the morning. So I had to wake up at like 4:30 and I maybe had like maximum 3 hours sleep. And even the day before I had a lack of sleep as well, because I had to wake up in the morning to watch St Kilda v Hawthorn, and I did not get 8 hours sleep that day either. So for the day after that, to watch St Kilda Hawthorn in the morning, and then go to work a couple hours later, starting my shift, and then flipping to come home and realize I got to be up in like 4 hours, and it's just like I did get some sleep on the coach on the way though, because I had to I got a lift to a coach station in the city, then got the coach, 2.5 hour coach to the track, stayed at the track obviously for the race and everything, coach back 2.5 hours, and then a lift back. I got home maybe 10:30 p.m. and was on like 3 hours sleep. Then I went to edit the vlog, which took ages, and I had some dinner in between as well. By the time I was done, it was like 3:30 in the morning, knowing I had a lack of sleep the previous night. So it's been a rough few days, and obviously I've not had enough time to do my tipping. So it is what it is, but only a day late, so we can live. 97 tips, I got 7 out of 9. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Obviously, one of those wrong tips was West Coast. My reasoning was pretty simple. Against Collingwood, they played pretty well, and Collingwood are up here. They're 10 points clear at the top of the ladder. Right, so I thought, West Coast did well against Collingwood for 3 quarters. Maybe at home against the Giants, who are not as good as Collingwood, maybe they might be able to get a second win, because they can't be one win all season, right? They got to get a win somewhere, get another win somewhere. They can definitely put it out the hat, you know. There's always a shock win every single year. We think a team's going to lose every game, then they get a shock win. They have already got that shock win, but they can get another one. And I thought it was going to be the Giants game. I was clearly incorrect. I thought to myself, damn it. I didn't watch the game, to be honest. But I was just like, what happened to the Eagles that held Collingwood for 3 quarters? What happened to that West Coast? It was literally last week. And it was in Melbourne as well that happened. I was like, damn it. But yeah, risks are there to be taken. And the risk that time did not pay off. Sydney. The previous 2 rounds, I tipped Sydney to take a risk. I thought, they may be able to do something. Let me take a risk on Sydney. Didn't work out. I finally decide, you know what, I'll tip against Sydney. I think Freo are doing well. They should beat Sydney, even at the SCG. Freo lose. Flippin' heck. I show faith in Sydney, they lose. As soon as I stop showing faith in them, they win. What's up with that? I'm sorry if I sound tired, I am. But this is definitely getting me energized. The fact that this has happened after me tipping Sydney twice in the previous 2 games. But yeah, it's a bit of an upset, because obviously they're still 3 games behind Freo, right? With 7 games left. Even now, it's very unlikely that Sydney make the 8, right? Freo are very much contenders to make the 8. They're definitely contenders. So, as far as I'm concerned, a contender to make the 8 lost to a team that probably won't make the 8. It's just like the favourite clearly lost there. even though it's at the SCG and Freo, it's the type of game Freo would lose, it's definitely a bit of an upset. Even before this game, like, obviously the gap was a bit bigger, but they got that. It's just like they got that win, and it's good to see. It's good to see. Obviously, they got smashed last two grand finals out of 3. It's good to see them, you know, getting a big win like that. But I was just like, the one time I tip against Sydney, that's when it happens. Of course. So next week we've got. Wait, let me pull this up because I wrote it down on Discord. Yes, there's a Discord for this channel. In case you didn't know, there's many people who are still just finding this out. So next week we got 7th versus 1st, 6th versus 3rd, 8th versus 4th, and 9th versus 5th. So 4 of the games next week. That's 8 of the 18 teams next week are in the top 9 and they're playing each other. Like teams in the top 9 are four games between teams in the top 9. And if you look at the gap between 9th and 3rd, it's literally one win. Literally one win. You can even pull Brisbane in. Like Brisbane are just 2 points clear of Adelaide. But still, 3rd to 9th, there is just one win in there. And when you consider 7th is playing 1st, 6th is playing 3rd, 8th is playing 4th. Interesting how 6th, 7th, and 8th are all at home against the top 3. That's quite interesting. And then you got 9th versus 5th to top it all off. So, yeah, wait, 6th to 9th all at home against teams in the top 3 or 5th. That's mad. No, sorry, no, not the top 3, not Brisbane, sorry. Brisbane are playing someone else, not Brisbane. It's Adelaide, Collingwood, Adelaide, Geelong, and Hawthorn are playing against 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's crazy. Who have Brisbane got? Brisbane might have the easiest game of the... Oh, yeah, they got Carlton at Marvel. That's quite funny. Please, Brisbane win. It would be so funny to see Carlton lose that as well. I'm going Brisbane to win. Yep, Brisbane to win by 5 points. Gold Coast, Collingwood. I think Collingwood should win. They're a better team. They do well in close games, which I think this will be quite a close game because Gold Coast are at home. Gold Coast, they're not as strong as they were at the start of the season. But then you can also argue that even at the start of the season, they didn't really have any big wins. Really, they didn't have any big wins. They just, they won against teams they probably should have beat. And they've not really passed any big tests, I guess you could say, this season. So I think all fingers, I'm trying to think of the right analogy, all fingers point towards a Collingwood victory. But, you know me, I take risks. Risks, my friends, are there to be taken. Gold Coast to beat Collingwood. I am only doing this because they're at home. And it's an opportunity for them, in front of their own 5 fans, to show those handful of fans that they can be contenders, that they can really challenge teams in the 8. What a statement it would be to beat first place. Just think about it. If the players have that kind of motivation, I feel like they got a good enough squad to at least give Collingwood a challenge. You never know. So I'll take the risk. But in my head, I am fully expecting Collingwood win. If Collingwood win, I'll not be surprised. I'll not be disappointed. Well, I'll be disappointed if it's like close and then Collingwood win it after the siren. Then I'll be disappointed. But like generally speaking, if Gold Coast are 50 points down at 3/4 time, I'm not going to be disappointed by that. I'm just like, yeah, it's Collingwood against Gold Coast that are not as good as they were at the start of the season. But I want to take the risk. Even though my mind is telling me Collingwood will win, I will take the risk. I thought about that more than the West Coast win again. West Coast tip last week. Western Bulldogs v Adelaide. Another big clash. I know there's a feature already. I just like how the ladder highlights. It's nice. Once you scroll down though, it gets a bit harder. This is huge, of course. If the Dogs win, they'll be level with Adelaide. That's what they want, of course. Obviously, They wouldn't just want to be in the 8, they want to make top 4, which they can still obviously do. I am giving it, once again, to home advantage. The Bulldogs' record against teams above them is not very good. That's the main drawback to this. I think the Crows can definitely upset them. It's just that I got a feeling the Dogs will win. I don't think, like, this says 20%, but I don't think it's that much of a risk to tip Adelaide. I don't see that being like a huge risk. Just like, Bulldogs are a good team. They can beat anyone on their day, but it's never their day against teams above them. that's one of their issues. I just feel like against third, they might fumble again. But I'm going to stick with my gut for that one. GWS Geelong! I should go Geelong. The Giants have beaten them already once this season, but that was the GMHBA. They always beat them there. Can they do the double? I predict them to do the double. Another risk, I guess, maybe. I mean, it's not a huge risk. Giants winning at home is not a huge risk. They know what to do at home, even though they lost there a few times anyway. Geelong good enough to win that game, but I'm gonna say GWS to win the game and go equal on points with Geelong. Wait, so if the Giants and Bulldogs win, that's a lot of teams on 44 points. If Freo beat Hawthorn as well, oh my days, can you imagine? And Gold Coast, Gold Coast beat Collingwood. 1, 2, 3, 4. There'd be 7 teams on 44 points potentially if the games go a certain way. That's insane. And I am actually going to tip Freo as well. That's like, I'll just get it out of the way now that I've said it. Obviously, I'm a Hawks fan. Go Hawks. I just got a bad feeling we'll lose this game. I guess Freo losing to Sydney gives me extra hope. It's just that I don't have. I'm still very pessimistic about Hawthorn. I always am, to be fair. It's just that, this season we're not playing as well as we did at the end of last season. But we have turned it on in some games. We've had some good moments, especially last couple of games. It would be massive to win in Perth against Freo. But I just can't tip us. I just... my head is saying Freo might win. Richmond v Essendon. Essendon victory, but it will be... I think Essendon against, bottom sides, they make it hard for themselves. They win things the hard way. But they beat West Coast, they beat North. They did it by a very small margin both times, but they did it. I predict something very similar here. I think they'll win again, but by like 5 points. I think, yeah. Realistically, I think it could happen because it was similar to that against North, and I think against North they won by 3 points. Against West Coast, it wasn't that many points either, so similar against Richmond, I reckon. So we'll leave it at that. Melbourne, North Melbourne. I'm going to tip North. What am I doing? Melbourne are better than the first few rounds, and they've done well against some decent teams, and North have been on a bit of a, they've won a few games, and there's been games where they played well but lost, but generally this season they've not been very good. But I think they can beat the D's. Help me. Bloody help me. St Kilda, Sydney. St Kilda, yes, we're predicting St Kilda to win a game. Oh yes, they can beat Sydney at home. So Sydney are not bad at playing at either Melbourne Stadium. I forgot the word Melbourne for a second, because I had Marvel right in front of me. At Marvel MCGs, the Swans I don't think they have a bad record at either, but I think they could lose to the Saints. The Saints can be good when they want to be. It's just a case of whether they turn up in this game. I think Saints to win. City might have momentum after the Freo game, but I'm going to tip the Saints. We'll see how this goes. Obviously, they're sitting 15th right now, so they're in a pretty bad place. And Portsmouth West Coast. That's the easiest tip of the round. by far. It's not even close. So yeah, Port to win. Port to win by less than 40 points. St Kilda to beat Sydney. North to beat Melbourne. Fremantle to beat Hawthorn. Essendon to beat Richmond. GWS to beat Geelong. Western Bulldogs to beat Adelaide. Gold Coast to beat Collingwood. And Brisbane to beat Carlton. By the way, I promise you, I have not done this on purpose. But if my tips are correct, there will be 7 teams on 44 points. I did not do it on purpose. This is genuinely what I think will happen. This is genuinely what I think will happen. I could be very wrong, but... Oh yeah, to be fair, I do think Collingwood will beat Gold Coast. I just want to take a risk there. I just feel like I got a feeling I should take a risk there. But I think Collingwood will win that game. So that one is a bit, you know, But I think the Dogs can beat Adelaide. I think the Giants can beat Geelong. I think, unfortunately, I think Freo can beat Hawthorn. Hopefully, I'm wrong about that one, especially. If Hawthorn win, I'm happy to get every other tip wrong. If Hawthorn win, if I get all 9 tips wrong, as long as Hawthorn win, I'm happy. So we'll leave it at that. But yeah, those are my tips, and let's see how this goes down. Sorry, this video took a while. What was I waffling about for 18 minutes? I think less than that, actually, about 15 minutes. I just started the camera and had to sort something out on my phone very quickly. But yeah, those are my tips, and hopefully I'll be live on Thursday, Friday and Saturday for the night games, because those are the only ones I can actually watch while also managing to get sleep after work. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you